President Joe Biden is expected to meet with the top 4 congressional leaders today to discuss several topics.
A lot on the agenda, no doubt about it. Fox 5's Robert Moses joins us now with a look at some of what the president and these leaders will be talking about. Good morning, Robert.
Dan and Tashani, good morning to you. Both foreign and domestic topics will be on the agenda. The meeting falls in an election year, of course, and even though the previous White House occupant will not be in the room today, that doesn't mean his presence will not be felt. Later this morning at the White House, President Joe Biden will meet with the 4 top congressional leaders to discuss avoiding a government shutdown at the end of this week and an emergency aid package that includes money for Ukraine and Israel. During a visit to an ice cream shop in Rockefeller Center yesterday, the president sounded optimistic about another ceasefire in Gaza.
My national security advisor tells me that we're close. We're close. It's not done yet. And my hope is by next Monday, we'll have a ceasefire.
Republicans have sought to tie funding for Ukraine and Israel to tougher border security measures. A bipartisan border security deal overwhelmingly passed the Senate this month. It is now tied up in the House, which the president lamented during a taping of Late Night with Seth Meyers.
But I was told that Trump was picking up the phone, calling the Speaker of the House saying, don't let it pass. Why? Not because he doesn't think it's good, because it will benefit Biden.
The border has become a flashpoint of late, especially after authorities charged an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela with the murder of a 22-year-old nursing student from Georgia. Former President Donald Trump blamed President Biden for her death and promised that when I am your president, we will begin the largest deportation operation of illegal criminals in American history. Both the current and former president plan to visit the border Thursday.
I've been planning to go Thursday. What I didn't know is my good friend apparently is gone.
Biden's last-minute, insincere attempt to chase President Trump to the border won't cut it, the former president's campaign press secretary retorted. The 45th and 46th presidents have also clashed about their ages. Former President Trump is 77, President Biden is 81.
He's about as old as I am, but he can't remember his wife's name.
That appeared to be a reference to former President Trump on Saturday, referring to his wife Melania as Mercedes. During the same speech, former President Trump promised victory.
We're going to win the election. We're going to win it big. We're going to win it bigger than ever before.
Former President Trump is expected to cruise to an easy victory over Nikki Haley in today's Michigan primary. Now, there's a little bit more of an interesting subplot on the Democratic side where potentially thousands of Michigan voters could pick uncommitted over President Biden. Shani and Dan, back to you.
We'll see. All right. Thank you very much, Robert.